Phone ringing. Boss. Why the hell aren't you picking that up? Me. I always answer on the third ring, makes me seem cooler. Boss. Pick it up. Me. Rolling eyes, fine, picks up phone, 911 what's your emergency? Baby boomer. Why are there holes in your jeans? You rip those yourself? Me, smart and woke. Why are there holes in the ozone? You rip those yourself? My annoying aunt made the whole family to do beach meditation with her. When she asked each of us to describe our happy place, my dad just said, this trip, but without you here. Other women. Nothing is seer than a dad holding a baby. Me. Nothing is seer than my husband using his thundering dad voice to frighten our children into behaving when I've abandoned all hope. True story. I'm flying right now, but through Wi-Fi and an app on my phone, I'm honking the horn on my car back home to annoy my family. The future is now. Me. Go back to bed, you have a 90-minute school delay because of bad road conditions. Kids. Then why are you leaving? Me. Work doesn't care if you die. My wife will not let me enjoy this Liverpool game in peso, Mrs. Straightener using my head as mannequin. This is a recently discovered photograph of two women who jumped into the freezing water and perished during the 1912 sinking of the notorious RMS Titanic. RIP. Never forget this tragedy. When my youngest brother was little, he was being bullied and went to my parents for help. They told him sticks and stones may break my bones. They then asked him to finish the phrase, and he said, but chains and whips excite me. He seriously thought that was his second part. I hate when I'm on a flight, and I wake up with a water bottle next to me like, oh great, now I gotta be responsible for this water bottle. When you wake up and check your phone to see how much longer you can sleep, but it's right before your alarm rings. Imagine a world without pizza. No, stop crying, this was just pretend. I'm sorry, try and control yourself, I'm sorry. I worked at a historic site once where I had to dress as a bison and be chased by hordes of 5-year-olds in a bison hunt. Once after being killed in the bison hunt, I was breathing too heavily from running. One of them yelled, "It's alive," and punched me in the face. At my wedding, when I was repeating the vows, I accidentally said, "I'm Megan Catherine," which is my wife's name. I thought it was going to be a silent fart, and it came out louder than an air horn. I never heard from her again, my worst date. So my 12-year-old sister made this sign and held it up in the airport in front of everyone as I was walking down the escalator after my school trip. Trying to talk to my husband while Carolina is playing. He looks at me and says, "Woman, you know better than this. The game is on." He's right. I slipped. I fetch him a beer. He grabs me. Deep kisses. Patience and timing, ladies. That's the lesson. I once went to a wedding where it was a tradition on the bride's family side to shoot blanks up in the air inside the reception hall during dinner. A tradition not known to many of the 350 guests. I started crying in the dining hall because I was laughing so hard after remembering Scooby-Doo's real name is Scoobert Doobert. My cousin had a beautiful outdoor wedding. He was having trouble getting through his vows. At the same time, a mosquito landed on his head, and the bride smacked him. Of course, the guests couldn't see the mosquito, and so we all sat there speechless. It's getting warm out, so please remember to wear sunscreen, stay hydrated, and ignore "hey stranger" texts. The boys I nanny for just asked me where I work, and I didn't have the heart to tell them their parents pay me to hang out with them, so now they think I work at Chili's. Result of watching too much Grey's Anatomy. Police. Teen pretends to be doctor at OB-GYN office for entire month before someone noticed. St. Mary's Medical Center. 901. Somebody tried to tell me there was 50 states in America. Nah, cause the scientists found out that Pluto don't exist. We got 49 dumb sucks that you can only flip off a maximum of 2 things at once. Hugs, not drugs, I whisper as I flush grandma's diabetes medicine down the toilet. Knock on door. Sir, have you found Jesus? No. Goodbye. Shuts door. Jesus steps out from behind door with gun. Good answer. My siblings had a fight once and it went like this. Tyler. Anything that comes out of your mouth is stupid. Sam. Tyler. To this day I still laugh out loud in inappropriate settings because I randomly think of it. My first time eating sushi, my good friend told me to take that green stuff and spread it all over it because it'd taste better. I hope the dumb bitch who initiated physical violence with her NFL player fiancé learned a good lesson when he justifiably beat her. As my wife is walking down the aisle with her father, looking absolutely stunning, we hear a TSSH of a beer can opening in the back. To be fair, it was past noon on a Saturday, so my uncle was ready to party. At our wedding, our minister kept calling my husband Mike. His name is Mark. When he asked Mike, "Do you take this woman?" my husband's brother Mike yelled out, "I ain't marrying her." Everyone busted out laughing. Still married to Mark, 31 years and counting. This is my school's idea of a BBQ beef burger. Please confirm my suspicions that this is roadkill. Are you sure there's beef inside that weird-looking rectangular thing? Schools should know better. My 4-year-old cousin was the flower girl at her aunt's wedding, confused about a role and what she was celebrating. She sang happy birthday the whole way down the aisle. Last minute they had kids go outside and grab flowers for the flower girl. A few minutes later she was tossing poison ivy at people as she walked down the aisle. A woman is sitting at her deceased husband's funeral. A man leans into her and asks, "Do you mind if I say a word?" "No, go right ahead," the woman replies. The man stands, clears his throat, says plethora, and sits back down. "Thanks," the woman says, "that means a lot." Okay, so I was in a public restroom, and I opened a pat and a little girl in the stall next to me was like, "Why does she have a snack?" Someone ate my sister's leftovers. She'd been like this for 2 hours. When my date brought me home, he walked me in. My dad heard us come in and got up half asleep, locked eyes with my date, and farted for a minute straight. He never broke eye contact the entire time, and then went back to bed without a word. "What's your degree in?" "Meteorology." "Hey, what's the weather gonna be? How come you don't know? Lol. Why did you even go to school? Haha. What's the temperature going to be to the nearest 100th decimal on Friday? I'm going to Florida." Me. Student loans are crippling our generation. Person that types with their index fingers and can't rotate a PDF. I bought my house with 3 buttons and a carton of Camels in 1974. I was 10 and went to my grandfather's farm. He gave me $10 to be a scarecrow. I stood there in the sun yelling for an hour until my mom came and yelled at him. I once had a job as a personal assistant. My boss asked me to go with his wife to their newborn son's circumcision for emotional support because he didn't want to. It's hashtags time. Tweet out something funny, weird, or embarrassing that happened at a wedding and tag it with number wedding fail. Could be on our show. The priest asked any objections. Her 90-year-old Italian grandpa stood up silent for a min, sat saying no, I kid. I went to a wedding where the DJ queued up the wrong Eric Clapton song for the first dance. Instead of Wonderful Tonight he played I Shot the Sheriff. Gave a speech I'd prepared a week prior. Had a joke, this day is so emotional, even the cake is in tears. Pointed over to the cake table, and there were cupcakes. After my dad walked me down the aisle, but before he gave me away, he asked my fiancé, "Did you bring the money?" Every time a client pretends to be a designer, a baby panda dies. Ran out of mozzarella cheese, but we still eatin' though. There's literally nothing better than when you're full on laughing with someone, and you both keep adding things that make it funnier and you can barely breathe. Every Father's Day I think about the time I jokingly asked my 4-year-old daughter if she was going to get me a World's Best Dad mug. "Nope," she said gravely. "I haven't met all the dads in the world." If you're ever with me and someone comes up to me and starts talking and I don't introduce you, it's strictly because I don't remember their name. So please feel free to be a dope person and introduce yourself so I can then hear said name and pretend knew it the whole time. 6-year-old. I hope you have a bad life with a bad job and a bad house. 4-year-old. I hope you never eat another donut. Me. Too far. Michael Jackson was in a hole in Remember the Time. He was in a hole in a lot of his videos, honestly. He'd step onto the scene, flirt with a man's girl, cause chaos, then he into the wind. He, into the wind. My 1-year-old spilled BBQ sauce on her shirt. Now the pig is stalking her through the house like a wounded gazelle. Only the strong survive. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy the video, leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more daily videos.